So the Critical Role fanbase is known for being, well, a little tinfoil hat when it comes to some of their theories, but lately, things have been getting, well, a little out of hand with a certain guest character, Utkarsh Ambudkar, and his character, Bordor. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. In today's video, we're going to be discussing all of the wild theories surrounding one of Critical Role's new guest players, Utkarsh Ambudkar, and his character, Bordor, which has sent the Critical Role fanbase into an absolute frenzy full of tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. Just to note, this video will obviously contain some spoilers for Campaign 3, so keep that in mind when you're watching the video. Okay, let's get right into it. So after the crazy events of the Apogee Solstice, the kind of middle climax of Critical Role Campaign 3, we've seen our party split up and scattered across all of Exandria, gaining new guest characters for kind of a little mini arc in between this kind of grand ruinous arc. Now, over the course of a couple weeks of episodes, this character has sent the Critical Role fanbase into an absolute delirium as the guy seems, well, a little sussy. And just to be clear, I was definitely one of these people very early on when his character showed up that seemed like there was something more to meets the eye here. So what exactly is going on with Bor'dor Dog'son? Well, it all starts with Utkarsh, the man himself, playing the character. You see, in the very first episode where he showed up on Critical Role, the man acted as though he was some kind of grand noob in D&D, but we know for a fact that the guy has played D&D before. To what extent, I'm not exactly sure, but he has appeared on Stream Games before, Stream Games with Matt Mercer, i.e. Force Grey, and it's been said and almost confirmed, I think, by Utkarsh himself, that he has played a decent amount of D&D over the years. So right away, my sussy radar, my sussy vibes were going crazy when he very much seemed to be acting like a newbie D&D player, which also was interesting because of how it related to his character Bordor. So according to Bordor, he himself is a shepherd that lives in the obscure mountain ranges within Exandria along with his brother. Suddenly though, with the Apogee Solstice, the man got bamped all the way across the world and now all of a sudden has magical sorcerer powers, as it's believed that Bor'dor Dog'son is a divine soul sorcerer. Possibly the magic of the Apogee Solstice, the shifting of the ley lines, did some wacky shenanigans, giving this man powers, if we are to believe him. Now, right away, this does make sense with the character, as if Utkarsh really is kind of a noob in D&D, if we take him for his word, it would make sense that he would play a character that is kind of newbie with their magical spellcasting ability. As the first time we see his character Bordor, the man is completely terrified for his life, casting spells at our party members as he's scared. He doesn't know what's going on. He even roleplays the character like he doesn't understand his spellcasting. But you see, this immediately got some people wondering. Besides the OOC out of character reasons, while it seems like Utkarsh and his character might be up to something, there's a number of in-game character reasons that definitely sent some people's alarm bells ringing and got people on Reddit coming up with some wild theories. You see, Bordor as a character is really hard to read. The man is not very divulgent when it comes to a lot of personal information. He deflects a lot of the time when asked personal questions about his life and his family, and that alone isn't suspicious, but when you combine it with a lot of the other stuff going on, it starts to create some kind of a picture that there might be more than meets the eye with this character, and especially after the events with another guest character, i.e. Erika Ishii and their character Yu. Yeah, you can see why some of the Critical Role fan base might be a little distrusting when it comes to new guest characters. One of the funniest and most absurd theories I've heard so far about Bor'dor Dog'son is that the man himself is actually a dog that has somehow either been true polymorph or polymorphed into a human. I know, right? It's absolutely absurd, but just listen to me, hear me out here. You see, Bordor talks about the fact that he has family, potentially a brother, in the mountains where he lives, shipped along with a dog that was their pet. Now in Campaign 3, Episode 62, we see that the group scry on Bordor's home in this mountain. They see an empty home with no traces of life, no brother, and no dog anywhere to be seen. Now it's a little on the nose, but a lot of people think that Bordor's name, Bordor, and the fact that he is Dog's son, literally means that he is like a border collie. He is Bordor, the son of a dog. I know, right? It's absolutely absurd. It's most likely not the case, but you know, stranger things have happened on Critical Role. If I'm being honest, this is D&D at the end of the day. Absurd things become the normalcy, and this is just frankly one of the most absurd theories I've ever heard, but God, would it be hilarious if it was true. Another theory that comes from Reddit from user Camsolmons, I hope I'm saying that right, is that Bordor could potentially be the son of a god or related to a god in some kind of a way. You see, this user somehow put together the fact that Bor'dor Dog'son's name is an anagram for no gods. We know that Bordor is potentially a divine soul sorcerer, and if he was, this would make for a very interesting relationship with the gods. The fact that his name seems to be some kind of a hint or an homage to the gods. And we've seen so far in these few episodes that Bordor as a character does seem to be somewhat anti-god or very hesitant to the gods' involvement of normal mortals on Exandria, as we've seen him constantly push back against Bell's Hell's kind of mission to stop Ludinus, Delath, Predathos, and the potential destruction of the gods. There's been a lot of pushback from our guest characters, and it's a type of pushback that's very subtle, but is very interesting, as there's been constant conversations about the nature of the gods in Exandria. Are they actually as good as we think they are? What kind of purpose do they really serve? And would mortals in Exandria be better off without them, or be better off if they were replaced? Obviously, we know the ascension of the Raven Queen from a mortal to a divine being kind of shook up the relationship between mortals and gods, as now gods were potentially seen as not very much different from the mortals. If one mortal could ascend to godhood, then it could potentially be replicated. Other mortals could do it as well, making this kind of barrier between gods and mortals almost non-existent. While this theory would be absolutely crazy and there's like pretty low chance that it's actually true, it is the most interesting to me. As we said, there is the anagram that is no gods. We've seen Bordor be very, well, potentially anti-god and push back against Bell's Hell's potential mission. And overall, Campaign 3, this is kind of the theme, this theme of what is the nature of divine beings in Exandria? What could happen potentially if the divine beings were all destroyed? We've seen now in the world of Exandria that at least 3 divine beings have been destroyed. The 2 gods eaten by Predathos and the former god of death. This kind of leads us nicely to another absurd theory that I almost potentially did a video over, a theory that I saw from Reddit user That Red Moon that I like to label the Dagger Heart theory. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you would have seen that Matt Mercer recently, earlier in the year, announced that they will be releasing a new fantasy tabletop role-playing game system called Dagger Heart, which is potentially a competitor to D&D 5e, and most likely a newer campaign in the future of Critical Role. They will transition to this Dagger Heart system. Now, this Reddit user theorizes that potentially Matt will use Predathos in Campaign 3 to do a grand reset on the world of Exandria. Essentially, Matt will blow up Exandria as we know it, very similar to what he did with the Chroma Conclave in Campaign 1. We've seen that Matt is very willing to destroy his own creation for the sake of a new story. The theory then goes that Matt will blow up Exandria, Predathos will potentially kill and destroy a number, if not all, of the gods of Exandria, and that certain mortals over time will ascend, possibly members of Vox Machina or other powerful mortals that we know in the world of Exandria right now. They will become the gods of the future of Exandria, the gods of Daggerheart, as Daggerheart will potentially come the new story and will take place, you know, hundreds or more years in the future in this world of Exandria. But that's really just a theory, a Critical Role theory. For real though, things are getting wild in the Critical Role universe. There's a number of other theories that Bordor is potentially the brother of Ludinus the Lath. He's potentially the brother of Asmodeus, the Lord of the Nine Hells, and potentially uber baddie of like all of Critical Role. There's no evidence to support either of these two theories outside of the fact that he says he has a brother that for all we know, doesn't seem to actually exist. He has divine sorcerer powers, and he's really freaking sus. It's very possible there's nothing sketchy at all about Bordor as a character, and we're all just getting up in our tinfoil hat theories. But me personally, I expect some kind of a reveal from this character before things are all said and done over this little mini arc we have in Critical Role Campaign 3 right now. As always though, these are all just theories and my thoughts and opinions, so let me know in the comments down below what you think about Bor'dor Dog'son and what you think this character is up to. Do you think that there is some secret motive going on here, or do you think that he's all just kind of playing us and he really is just kind of this newbie character that has this fun, kind of whimsical vibe to it? As always guys, thank you so much for supporting me. If you did enjoy the video, learn something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click on screen now for more Critical Role content like our Critical Role War series. And as always, hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, ado.
A love story that might be. We wasn't supposed to happen. So much talk around us. We became numb to the yapping. It was like 05. Got my license to drive. Picked you up in my pop's car. Went for a ride. Couldn't no one tell us nothing. That night was ours. All the stars aligned and you was